Knuckleheads, welcome to the channel. This is our Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell post-fight reaction, discussion, and my goodness, what an absolutely incredible performance by Ryan Garcia. First and foremost, I want to say that I got the person right. I thought Ryan Garcia was going to win, but I thought it was going to be by decision because Luke Campbell is such a tough guy. And for this fight to turn out the way it did for me indicates that not only was a star born because Ryan Garcia was already a bit of a star in his own right, this was supernova activity, knuckleheads. I mean, the star exploded tonight in Texas with that just absolutely amazing finish to what was an amazing fight. That was an all-action affair. Listen, I got nothing but praises for both guys, but especially for Ryan Garcia because that was absolute madness. Okay, let's start out from the very beginning. So first off, this kid comes out, right, being held up Prince Nassim style as a king on a throne with four guys walking him to the ring. He gets in there and from the outset is very aggressive against Luke Campbell. First round goes by. Ryan was a bit more aggressive. I scored it for Ryan Garcia, but I was saying to myself, he is being aggressive tonight. Second round starts, the aggression continues. He gets a little too aggressive, right? And gets caught with a beautiful left hook to the head that if you have been watching Luke Campbell's fights and the highlights like I have, is a punch that Luke Campbell has knocked people out with in the past. I mean, this is exactly what happened, and it's ironic because Ryan Garcia finished the fight with the inverse, but I'll explain that in a minute. So what happens is if you watch Luke Campbell fight, he typically, when he throws a combination, he likes to go real hard to the body with that left hand. And of course, he's a southpaw, so that's his power hand. Of course, Garcia is an orthodox fighter, so this was definitely an interesting matchup because of that as well. But he did the misdirection to the body. He acted like he was going to throw that hard hook to the body like he was doing throughout the fight, and then switched it up on Garcia and went to the head. Garcia, as he was moving back, instead of keeping his right hand down, pushed his right hand down in order to try to block what he thought was probably going to be a body shot. But Luke Campbell misdirected it towards the head, changed directions of the punch towards the head, and dropped Garcia with it. And Garcia was hurt, man. I mean, he fell down. His arm was all bent weird behind his body. Luckily, he didn't hurt it and hurt himself and disable himself from being able to get the result at the end of the fight. He gets up. And it looks like the universe used Luke Campbell just to show how freaking tough Ryan Garcia is, because he got up and got even more aggressive and fought Luke Campbell off. I mean, he was a bit more intelligent with his defense and kept his hands up for the remainder of the fight when he was in range, but he was extremely aggressive after that. And, definitely not one to lack for stamina, for heart, and for speed and power. We'll get into that in a bit. So he gets up, fights on the rest of that round, shows tremendous heart, doesn't shy away the way Lomachenko said that he did in their sparring, goes in there and brings the fight to Luke Campbell, goes to the third round. Ryan Garcia has a better round. I agree with the broadcasters. I thought the fight was close, but Garcia basically won every round, in my opinion. Outside of that second round when he got dropped, all the rounds were close. It goes into the fourth round. It goes into the fifth round. In the fifth round, and listen, one thing I want to say before I continue. After that second round, when Ryan Garcia got dropped by that vicious left hand, It became a shootout. The announcers didn't see that until the 5th or 6th round. That's when they called it a shootout. But this fight, as soon as Ryan Garcia got back up, and maybe even before, was a shootout. It was two guys standing in front of each other, throwing their best punch, trying to get each other out of there. And it was non-stop shootout. It was a death match from that point until the 7th round. In the 5th round of this wild shootout, right? And again, it's mostly Campbell's left hand being swung with bad intentions versus Garcia's right hand. In the 5th round, Garcia nails Campbell near the end of the round and the bell saves him. The guy almost turns around to seek cover from the ropes and the bell rings immediately before, Ryan Garcia can get him out of there. Ryan Garcia goes up and yells in his face, knowing, hey, I got you on the ropes, literally and figuratively. Goes back to his corner. Comes out in the 6th round. Luke Campbell is still alive, so he kind of tones it down. He was trying to get him out of there at the beginning of the round, but he saw Luke Campbell was still there. Toned it down a bit, started picking his shots a bit more. We come out in the 7th round, right? And this is the inverse that I was telling you guys about. So we discussed how Luke Campbell acts like he's going to throw that hard left to the body and misses or changes the trajectory of the shot towards the head at the last second, right? And we've seen Luke Campbell knock people out with that. Again, that's fake to the body and go to the head. Ryan Garcia in the 7th round leaps in, and I'm saying to myself throughout this fight, right, if this kid throws a lead left hook in this fight is a wrap, because whenever, he's throwing this left hook with such velocity. Ryan Garcia, all of his punches have velocity on him, and so did Luke Campbell, but when he's throwing this left hook, he's trying to murder your life in the ring, right? I'm a little bit blown away by the velocity of his punches. This guy's trying to kill you. I'm saying to myself around the 5th or 6th round, if this kid throws a lead left hook, if this kid learns how to spring forward and throw that lead left hook, this is going to be a wrap. So what does he do? They're boxing, they break for a second, and Ryan Garcia dives in, and instead of throwing the left hook to the head, which he'd been doing throughout the night, does the inverse of what Luke Campbell does, acts like he's throwing the left hook to the head, changes the trajectory and hits Luke Campbell flush to the right side of his body, knuckleheads. Flush to the liver. And you see in the replay, the body's, the right side of Luke Campbell's body just splash and ripple like a fat kid doing a cannonball into an Olympic pool. Splash. I said to myself, oh my goodness. And, Luke Campbell's reaction when he got caught with that punch was, he did this like, oh fuck. Like he knew he got caught. And he went down, and it was like he was trying to urge himself to stand back up. He was talking to himself. I don't know if he was praying. I don't know what he was doing. He was trying to give himself affirmations. Bro, get your ass up. And he just could not get up. So a minute and I believe 28 seconds into round number 7, Ryan Garcia ends what is basically a duel, a shootout for 7 rounds. He ends it at 1 minute and 28 seconds into round number 7 with a picture-perfect left hook to the body. Wow. In a fight that a lot of people thought he had no business being in, proves the world wrong, makes an announcement afterwards that he wants Tank Davis. He'll take Devin Haney later, but he wants Tank Davis next. Gets the crowd into it. Tells them asks them, who they want him to fight. They're all chanting Tank for the most part. Tells people, don't let others, dictate your life. You choose who you want to be. Of course, he's referring to all the people calling him a social media fighter. And just absolutely proves everybody wrong and shows, despite a few flaws in his game, that he is an absolute legitimate threat in the division. And I'm blown away, man. A star is not just born, a star explodes supernova style onto the scene. You guys could say what you want to say, but I am absolutely blown away by this kid's performance. So before I go into the chat, because I see there's many of you in here, it's almost at 80 of you in here, and you're all chatting away. First and foremost, I need you guys to smash the like button. I don't get no love from YouTube unless you guys smash that like button. So do that right now. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And before I continue, also smash that join button for just $5 a month. You can help me not only build this channel, but the only kickboxing promotion that matters, Fighters Rep Promotions. You'll get access to our live fights, discounts, and so much more. And before I talk to you guys, again, I want to give a big shout out to Kirky Ivan and to Alex Chavez for joining the channel and becoming official Knuckleheads. Much love to you guys. So let's go in. Let's go in to see what you guys are saying. My goodness, I mean, this is crazy, you guys. This is crazy. King Tempa says, I'm so annoyed at this fight as a Campbell fan. Campbell could have easily finished the fight, but kept taking his foot off the gas every time Garcia got in a vulnerable position. He doesn't have that killer instinct. It's past midnight here. I need to sleep in a bit. Appreciate you being in here, King Tempa. That fight was fire, says Marco Martinez. I agree. That fight was absolutely insane, you guys. That fight was nuts. Much love to Mahalo for donating through the super chat, man. Thank you for doing that. If you guys want to join the channel, $5 a month, and you have an iPhone, you need to do it on a computer. But any donations, any items you purchase in the links below are all reinvested right back into the channel and the promotion. Thank you so much for that, Mahalo, man. One of the most generous people all the time on the channel. He doesn't have that killer instinct. Maybe he doesn't, man, but he put up a hell of a fight, and he always does when he gets to the top level. He just can't seem to get over that hump, poor Luke Campbell. My heart kind of broke for Luke Campbell today, you guys, because he's a talented guy, but again, just doesn't seem to be able to get that that championship fight. Big shout out to George Estrada for the donation, man. Much appreciated, brother. I wonder if it's Modelo time where you're at, fool. Devastating shot, says Chris Morales. I thought it was going the distance. Fair play to Garcia. Strong as F. I agree, man. I agree. Let's see here. Chris Morales agree. We shouldn't have held back on the knockdown. He shouldn't have held back. Garcia looked stunned for a bit. He was stunned, man, but he showed a chin. The kid showed a chin, and we need to give the kid credit. Mahalo says Ryan Garcia will grow leap and bounds from this experience. I agree. I still believe Ryan Garcia has plenty to learn. He's too inexperienced for the real bloodhounds of the division. Well, who else is left? Tank Davis, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney. I mean, I think he's, a fight or two away from being in that mix. I think right now he could potentially beat some of those guys. I think right now he could potentially beat Devin Haney and potentially even Tank Davis. I think Teofimo is the best right now. That's my opinion. But we'll see. I wasn't impressed since King Muggin. All right, why not, King? King Tempa says, no way does Garcia stand a chance versus Tank. Absolutely no chance. I don't know about that. I disagree. The elite fighters won't let you recover if you've been knocked down. Well, potentially. My brother Alex Chavez with the official Knucklehead Fighters Rep emblem by his name says, get it right Saturday night. This was a real acid test for Garcia, and he passed. Garcia had to dig deep down. Great fight to open 2021. Salud, brothers from Yuma, Arizona. Big shout out to my brothers in Yuma for sure. And speaking of salud, I'm going to see if I get some whiskey delivered up to the room right now so we can continue this. Let's see here. What a fight today, says George Estrada. For real, my brother. Man, crazy fight. Muller's 27. Comment retracted. King Tempa says Campbell would sow all the hard work by dodging the big shots, but then wouldn't make Garcia pay for it. Chris Morales is definitely not ready for Davis. The two Alvarado fights were quality. That Safa showed a lot of heart to stay in as long as he did. Brother, I told you get on the Reynoso meat diet. You'd be knocking guys out. Even Loma Linares couldn't do that. That's true. That's true. He did what Loma Linares couldn't, guys. One thing I will say is that Garcia has a hell of a chin. Good chin. Good chin, you know. He showed me better footwork than I expected. He showed me better footwork. You know, that's one thing that concerns me about Ryan Garcia. But he doesn't have the great head movement, although he's got pretty solid defense. He did have a slip up in his defense when he got dropped today by dropping his right hand the way Reynoso told him. But he adjusted, he fixed it, and he got the win. You got to give the kid credit. King Tempa says, or rather King Muggin says, I'm glad I didn't pay for the fight. Not me, man. I thought that was a dope-ass fight. King Tempa says it's $199 a month. Jesus Torres says the countdown is so weird. What the F? I don't know what you mean. King Muggin says the zone has BS fights. Fabio De Niro's pointing up. Jesus Torres says, I don't get it. He was getting up. No, he wasn't. Jesus, he was getting up way too late, brother, and he was all wobbly and messed up. That's a good stoppage, my brother. The body shots are definitely a weapon for Garcia. The elite fighters will have a game plan for it. Here's the thing, man. He's so fast, Mihailo. He's so fast. He got up. What the F are you saying? I don't know, Jesus. I disagree with you there, brother. You ever been hit to the liver, Jesus? I agree with you, Chris Morales, on this one, brother. The commentators were biased as F, too, says King Tampa. Campbell was snapping Garcia's head back continuously, and they focused on Garcia hitting his gloves. You know, I thought Campbell was putting up a good fight, but, you know, Garcia definitely, I thought, was winning most of the rounds. Spritey YT says, who won? Ryan Garcia, 7th round knockout. King Tempest says, to be honest, liver shots are the devil. They literally paralyze you, man. And that's why Luke Campbell couldn't get up in time. The Cyber Hustler says, Garcia took him out fast. I agree, man. It's wild. I'm still a little bit in shock at that performance. I mean, I thought Garcia would win. We predicted it on the channel. But to finish Luke Campbell, an otherwise very tough customer, you could only do it with a body shot or putting somebody straight to sleep. King Muggin says, Ryan, Kirky Ivan flexing with the Dope Fighters rep emblem next to it. Garcia, thank you, Ivan. Appreciate you, my brother. King Tempa says, took him out fast, ? Mihailo says, liver shots are nasty. They suck all the air out of your body. That's true. They also take all your blood. He didn't have any business. Come on, everyone is so biased. I don't know what you mean by that. Ryan performance is disappointing in this fight, says Fabio. Big disagreement there, brother. Yeah, 7th round is fast, says the Cyber Hustler. I agree with that. Thank you, young man. Salud, my brothers. Salud, salud. Appreciate you guys joining me. If you haven't, smash that like button, the bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. Smash the subscribe button, join Knucklehead Nation, and if you want to become an official Knucklehead for $5 a month, you hit the join button. If you have an iPhone, you won't see it. You got to log into a PC to see it. By doing so, you'll get you'll get access to our live fights. You'll get a shout out. You'll get an emblem by your name, the way Ivan and Alex got in the chat. You'll be a part of our monthly meeting where we discuss the progress of the promotion, and you'll get discounts to the fighters' rep gear in the links below. To the live, says Mike Colleen. What's up, Mike Colleen? What's up, my brother? Chris Morales says, commentators were shite. Thought I was watching Sky for a few rounds. Jason Eagle says, King Tempa, I noticed that Garcia would land a flurry on Campbell's gloves and commentators would go wild. And just ignore most. Laughing my ass off, says Todd French. Considering Luke went full 12 rounds against better fighters. Well, that's true. It was a pretty fast finish for Garcia, considering who Luke had been in there with, you guys. Guys are talking about the biased commentary. John Oliver says, off by 2 rounds, knuckleheads. A couple of you in here did predict Garcia by knockout. So, big up to you guys. Mihailo says, Jason Eagles, they put the marketing machine behind him, so there will be biased commentary. Absolutely. Nothing special from Ryan, says Amir Muhammad. I disagree with you, Amir, my brother. Joe Smith says, mad annoying, all these tards who never been in a fight talking shit about either Campbell or Garcia. I'll be your first fight. Just let me know. True that, Joe Smith. Todd French says, LOL, he went 8 hard rounds with Luke Campbell. LMAO. I don't know what's funny about that. Luke Campbell's a beast. Luke was much better. King Tempa says, if Campbell has a killer instinct, Garcia was done in 2 rounds. Potentially. But listen, what Garcia was throwing back with every punch, you guys, was devastating. I mean, you saw that one shot land to the body and it was a wrap. If this kid hits you once flush, at just 22 years, 23 years of age, if he hits you once flush, you're done. Imagine the kind of power he's going to have in a couple years. He hit Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist who'd been in there with Lomachenko and Linares, right? One flush body shot and ended the fight. You don't just go in there and walk this kid down. He's looking to counter you. He's a dangerous fighter. Ryan needs work, but he won. Yup, absolutely. Luke is the best, says the lies. Thank you. Tank hits way harder. I don't know how much harder you can hit. If you can hit someone and put them to sleep like that, you don't need to hit any harder. So I don't know, and I don't know if that's true. Garcia's also longer, probably has a lot more leverage on his shots. Fabio De Niro says if a shorter fought smarter and landed good body shots, he could win against Ryan. Perhaps. Adolph Ava says that's why he lost. What's up? Here we are again, says Mihailo. Appreciate you being in here, my brother. The Lie says I'm just kidding. Jesus Torres says how Ryan went down was better than the brutal KO. Alex Chavez says like, comment, subscribe, join. Appreciate you, Alex. Man, that's my brother in Yuma, Arizona. Fabio De Niro says for real. Ivan throwing the thumbs up. MF the Villain says to be able to take a shot like he did and get back up and stop his opponent 5 rounds later deserves a lot of respect. I agree with that. Anthony Crode says, dude is only what, 22? Exactly. Alex Mark says, love you, man. Love you back, brother. Sign me up, says George Estrada. George, man, you need to hit the join button if you have an iPad or an iPhone or whatever it is. You need to join on a PC. It's $5 a month. And I hope you're a part of it, man. You'll be part of the monthly meetings. I'd love to have you there, man. I'll let you guys know what's going on with the fight game and Fighters Rep Promotions. We're coming hard in 2021, baby. King Tempa says, yeah, I agree. And we already knew before this fight from his sparring that Garcia actually has a solid chin. Oh, man, I'm going to have to go down. I can't even keep track with you guys, man. I can't even keep track. I got to go all the way down. Out of proof says Campbell fought a great fight and Ryan win like a champ, but on the real he might do good with Haney, but he's not ready for Tank. I don't know. A Tank, hasn't really impressed me in his last couple performances. Really, guys. I mean, Tank, for me, Leo Santa Cruz was landing a lot of shots on Tank. Tank's also a small guy with short arms. He's got explosive power, but if Garcia can land on him, being the taller guy, it's not going to bode well for Tank, although Tank could bully him as well. I think it's a great fight. I think Garcia, after a couple fights, will be ready for Tank Davis. I definitely think he could beat him. So I disagree with you guys there. King Tempa says, I've been sitting here all this time. I didn't know you started until I refreshed the page. King Tempa. Apex says the commentators did feel a little biased, even though I like Ryan more. I mean, of course they're going to be biased, you guys. I try to explain to you guys how boxing works and how this stuff works all the time. As a promoter, we pay. We pay for all this. So, of course, they're going to be biased towards our baby. And the person that put on this fight was Oscar De La Hoya. So, of course, they're going to be biased for Oscar De La Hoya because Ryan Garcia is his baby. Come on, guys. Everybody you saw working that show tonight, from the referee to the judge to everyone else, their salary was paid by Oscar De La Hoya. Plus, it was in the United States. What do you expect? For them to be biased towards Luke Campbell? Let's see here. Happy New Year, my homie, says Mad Dog H. Happy New Year, my brother. Happy New Year. It was very biased commentary. Maybe it was. I wasn't paying attention to that. I thought Ryan Garcia was just, and Luke Campbell were just putting on a performance, man. I got much love for both of them. Big Mab says, is it over for Luke? That's a good question. It shouldn't be, but because of the nature of boxing and what a loss means in the boxing culture, it will potentially set him back big time or could be the end for him. And it's really sad. It's really sad. I hope that isn't what happens because he's still a very talented guy. Hey, Fighters Rep, who's your top two in the division after this fight? Also, what's the weather like where you're at? It's snowing here in the UK. Shout out to my brothers in the UK. You guys have no idea how much respect I have for the people out in the UK, man. I love you guys as fans. You guys are amazing. I've been there only one time on a flight to go visit my family in the Middle East. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. And right now the weather where I'm at in Southern California is, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you exactly what the weather is right here where I'm at. It's loaded 57, although it feels like 60 outside. It was 63 a little bit earlier. 57 right now. Anytime you guys want to visit, we'll go get some whiskey. That's why I like Reynoso. He told Ryan off in that corner and gave him great instructions. I agree. Reynoso's just straight to the point, no bullshit kind of guy. Top two in the division, Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis for me. What's up, Rep? Garcia proved his chin is legit. Garcia just needs a little more footwork, head movement. He's got everything else. I agree. And he's just a baby. 22 years old, guys. 22 years old. And let me tell you something. We got kids at Fighters Rep on the amateur level that I promise you guys, and for those of you that join the channel and donate and do everything else, you're going to see these kids. I'm going to go as far as to say, and I'm not going to reveal their names yet, but I've already got them to agree to a fight, right? There's two kids in Southern California. I got them to agree to a fight on the next Fighters Rep show, and it's going to be for an IKF Southern Regional title. I got two kids that I'm going to go this far and say it. With regards to kickboxing, which is the sport that we promote at Fighters Rep, the sport that I promote, one of them is the Floyd Mayweather of kickboxing, and the other one is the Oscar De La Hoya of kickboxing. The young versions. They're still amateurs. I promise you guys, when you see this fight, I promise you guys. Wait, just give us some time till next year. We're going to make it happen. But anyway, let's get back to this fight. I like that Ryan is training with Canelo. That'll help him in the future, says King Muggin. I agree with that. You guys are kicking my ass right now. Cheers, brothers. Cheers. Luke ain't get arrested. That's cap. Shout out to Steeler fan. Amir Muhammad says Luke should retire, though. I don't know about that. That's a bit harsh. Don't be a fickle boxing fan, Amir. The guy can still make money and live his life. Thomas Late says Garcia will be the next Amir Khan. Great fighter, glass chin. He won't compete against the best. Well, he didn't get knocked out, though, Tom. He didn't get knocked out. You can't say glass chin. He got back up. I mean, Tyson Fury got back up, you know. A lot of guys got dropped that got back up. You know, Amir Muhammad says facts, Thomas. Disagree with you guys. Mad Dog 8 says Ryan got dropped, but I did not see him hurt. It was a flash knockdown. I thought he was a little hurt for a little bit, but he recovered very fast. He's in good shape. He's young. Tank is too early for Ryan. Ryan needs to fight at least two more guys in the top 10. I agree with John Buxton there. I agree with you, John. I agree with you, brother. Real Ricky Tan says Ryan the Flash knocked down Garcia. That's a funny one. That's a funny one. Sly Tendencies says Tank's knocking over bums. That's true. That's true. To be honest, Tank's last performance before that uppercut, it was going 50-50. Mahalo, I agree. And I actually thought it was going 60-40 for Leo Santa Cruz, who didn't even belong in that division. Boxing Edits, how does he have a weak chin? He jumped right back up and got back into the fight. I agree with that. Rigged slow count, says UK Weed. Come on. Greg Sam says, Happy New Year, knuckleheads, man. 135 pounds division is stacked. Ryan will have reach and taller fighter, but Tank has power. Great fight it would be. Best of luck in 2021 on your promotions. Appreciate you, man. I hope you join us. I hope you subscribe. If you're in here, hit the like button. Join me on the journey, man. Let's build the greatest promotion in the world. All integrity. No A side versus B side fights. Let's treat these kids right. It's okay to lose. honor the fighters, man. They do, they put their lives on the line every time they're in there. So that's what we're going to be doing. How long before the whiskey kicks in, Mahalo? Appreciate the donation again, man. Your generosity's off the chain. The whiskey's already kicking in, brother. The whiskey's already kicking in. Join me. This fight was make or break for Oscar. I agree with that. There was a lot. Listen, there was a lot on the line today, you guys, for both sides. A lot on the line for Oscar, a lot on the line for Luke Campbell. And I said in my prediction, not so much for Ryan Garcia. I thought to myself, if Garcia loses this fight, he could come again still. He's still young. And I think that, having so much pressure on you, the way Campbell had, probably made the fight a lot harder for him. I didn't think Garcia had a lot of pressure on him. Garcia can't handle pressure. You'll notice when he gets hit in the face or somewhere, he freezes, whereas Campbell used the ring as his advantage. Garcia got a lot to learn before he fights Tank, potentially. I agree. He does. I still think he does have a lot to learn. Garcia definitely showed the heart of a lion. I agree with that, Raw Dog. Snowing in Canada, says Greg Sams. Damn, my brother. Shout out to Canada, though. I was there last year. Beautiful place, man. I understand how Ryan freezes, but the thing is, he needs to fox his guard. When Luke went for the left, Ryan's hands dropped. If Ryan fixed his guard and brings it up a tad, I think he could take Tank. Well, what happened was, Boxing Edit said that. What happened was that Luke Campbell did something that he's done in the past. He acted like he was going to the body, and at the last minute changed the trajectory of the punch to the head. He's actually knocked people out with that punch, and that's how he got knocked out today. But in the inverse, Garcia acted like he was going to the head and changed directions to the body. So it wasn't so much that, Ryan Garcia wasn't defending. He was just defending wrong. And yeah, he needs to keep his hand up. He needs to keep his hand up. Done nothing but piss down up north all day. English winners suck balls. No English? I'm not sure what you mean by any. Not ready for Tank, not ready for Tio. I agree with that. Not yet, but get in there. Just 22 years old, guys. Tonsley says, yeah, true, Ryan has no head movement, is very flat-footed. I feel like he needs to be lighter on the feet, just throw more. The guard is facts. If he drops his guard to Tank, it's over. I thought his foot movement was a little bit better than it had been before. But he does kind of just stand in front of you. But I think, again, that's because he's such a dangerous counterpuncher. I mean, when you're standing in front of him, you're really playing Russian roulette. The real Ricky Tan says Garcia needed this fight. He keeps his chin up in the air, finally got punished for it. Kids think they're invincible until they get punished. Hopefully this humbles him, not pump up his ego. I think it'll do a bit of both. Fight not going distance. Garcia KO TKO. Garcia ML. Garcia Gutierrez parlay. Garcia Rutgers parlay. Marty's Big Chicken. You're hilarious. How can I sign up? I'm trying to, but I don't know how. Georgia Estrada, my brother, if you're on YouTube and you have an Android device, you should see a join button down here. If you're on an iPhone, you won't see it. I think you have to log in with a PC or on desktop or something. You'll see a join button, and I'd appreciate that. Marty's McChicken says, easy 500 tonight. Listen, I've been picking them for you guys, man. I've been picking them for you guys. One of these betting websites needs to hire me, man. The Spanish DAZN broadcast was more fair, I think. When Ryan got knocked down, there was a huge reaction, and they were critical of him not listening to his trainer. Listen to all these here today, gone tomorrow fans telling Campbell to retire. Y'all get lightheaded checking the mail. Sly, I love it, brother. I agree, man. This man doesn't need to retire at all, man. But he does need to, I don't know, he needs to make some sort of improvement that could get him over the hump, man. This is the third time he steps up big and fails. And it's sad. I like the guy. He seems like a cool kid. He can fight, but it's just, just can't get over that hump. Big Juicy YT says Campbell has the wrong temperament. He's not a fighter. He's a bum. Never beat anyone of note. King Muggin laughs out loud. I Vexes says Ryan Garcia won at round 7. Yes, he did. Then he repeated it a few times there. I Ivex says, you could just write it once, brother. You could just write it once. Hal Osma says, from London and was cheering Ryan to win. So happy. He needs to learn head and leg movement, and he's golden. He made Luke run away. Shout out to Hal. Appreciate you being in here, brother. Big shout out to London and the UK, man. I'm from the UK too. Everyone knew Campbell lost the fight before it was announced. Why are you guys so harsh on the guy, though? I feel like Campbell's a pretty good fighter. I mean, I would have had this 50-50. I said this in the prediction. I just felt like, Ryan Garcia having home court advantage, less pressure on him, more momentum with the 2 first-round finishes before this fight. Confidence up the wazoo. I thought it was just going to be, a better fight for Ryan Garcia, and that's why I picked him. But why are you guys so harsh on Campbell? Ryan Garcia is the new Tank. Wow. I don't know about that, brother. But guys, he's got a hell of a punch, man. You can say what you want about this kid. If he lands a shot on you flush, it's nighttime. Mihailo says, off topic, do you think any of your fighters will develop into glory kickboxing fighters or organizations like Infusion? Mihailo, this is what I'm going to tell you. Those 2 organizations you named are in Europe. In the United States, we have nothing like that. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that because Fighters Rep is located in the mecca of combat sports, and I don't know if you saw, Glory recently took a hit, went into some sort of, almost bankruptcy or something like that, got bought out by a completely different outfit. They weren't doing so hot. We're the only kickboxing promotion here in California. We're getting bigger with every show. People are not going to have to go to Glory or Infusion from this show with time, especially if you guys help me and join. And as I continue to bring on, good sponsors whose vision is in line with my vision for the promotion, I mean, there's no need for these guys to go to Glory. We already put on our first pro fight, and I think I can create something like Glory or even better, considering the fight fans we have here in California and the population here. I mean, this is the most populous state in all of the United States, so these kids are going somewhere. And I would give it about a year and a half till I make some of these kids household names. I mean, even in the last event, we had Gabe Silva fight, Anderson Silva's son, and, over 25,000 people tuned in to watch. So I just think it's a matter of time. But yeah, if they ever wanted to go to Glory or Infusion, they would absolutely be able to go there. We got some of the best fighters, strikers in the world that compete for us and that are associated with the camps that compete for us. So yeah, they could easily go to Glory. Actually, a Glory fighter is already talking to me about putting some of his fighters on our cards, and that's Charles Rockstar Rodriguez. He's here in California as well. I always tell you guys, this is the mecca of combat sports, and he's got a bunch of young talent that he wants to put on here, and shit, I might invite Charles to come fight for us at some point. We also have a guy that hit us up recently who's, ranked top 15 in the world, actually number 1 in some organizations. So you're going to see some big names. I've got guys from the UFC, guys from the BKFC, guys from Bellator, all have hit me up to compete. I mean, listen, this rule set is for the best strikers in the world. So, if you think you're the best striker in the world and you want to stand and bang and prove it, this is the best rule set to do it. This is better than MMA as far as a rule set for striking goes, because you can't go to the ground or clinch in the Fighters Rep rule set. In Glory, you can clinch. At Fighters Rep, you can't clinch. So it's basically like boxing with knees and kicks. Even the bare knuckle, you can't kick in that. And you can also clinch in bare knuckle. You can't do that in our rule set. So if you really want to prove that you're the best striker in the world, Fighters Rep is the place to prove it, in my opinion. But, people may disagree, and we can agree to disagree. Let me see here. Campbell fought like an 1800s fighter with his arms left. Off topic. Oh yeah, I already answered that. So that's my answer to you, Mihailo. I hope you kind of, continue to follow and see what we've got going on here. And I will say the trajectories like this, our last show was our biggest show yet, and we sold out. Calling fighters bums is not fair. The idea of sport and ambitions is to find out who's better. Can't question fighters' heart to step into the rings for our amusement. I couldn't agree with that more. That's why I don't really call fighters bums, man. And I don't make A side versus B side fights. And that's part of the reason I have a little bit of disdain for boxing sometimes. Is if you know the way it works like I do, typically to build a fighter, they take them to a foreign country, the Dominican Republic, New Zealand, Mexico, so on and so forth. They have them beat up 10 or 15 indigenous kids or native kids from that region that have absolutely no chance, and that's what I mean by indigenous or native, to that country, wherever it is. And then they bring them back to the United States with a 10 or 15-0 record and sell them to a promoter. I mean, there's no honor in that. And all those kids in that other country that lined up to fight these guys, they're fighting for their family. They have big dreams. They want to do something, but they're being put in there to get killed against somebody with way more experience. So that's not something I'm ever going to do. I'm not going to call fighters bums unless they do something really, really stupid or admit to going in there to take a dive. And, there has to be some freaking respect in the sport. And that's a big thing, that I preach on this channel. Whether you're here to talk about the fights or whether you want to join me and join the membership, get the membership and join me in building a promotion with integrity. Whatever you do on this channel, you could say whatever you want. You could be from wherever you want. You could look however you look. I don't care about none of that. As long as you communicate respectfully, you can say whatever you want. As long as it's done respectfully, you are welcome in this thing. If you coming on here to piss people off and to annoy people, I'm going to get you out of here, But we've banned very few people on this channel. It's only those that come in here with serious disrespect or looking to fight with somebody or something like that get thrown out of here. So appreciate you guys being in here, man. Thanks for taking the time to read everyone's comments. Great content. Shout out from Japan. Fight night is Sunday fun day out here. Big shout out to Japan, man. Much love to Japan. I actually have a really close friend that's living out there. So much love to Japan. I'd love to go there one day too. Sly Tendency says his power is there because Garcia's flat-footed. He kept dropping his left hand. George Foreman proved you can be plotting and still win. It says prodding, but I believe you meant plotting. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. His power is there. And listen, Garcia's got some fast twitch in those hands, man. Chris Morales says Campbell will stay around, probably European title. He's too young to retire. It's definitely a stacked division to compete in. I agree with all of that, Chris. Shouts out to Campbell. Let's be clear. There's no way in a ham sandwich Campbell was taking a decision. I agree with that too. And that's also why I had this for Garcia. As bad as it sounds, Campbell just don't have it. We like our warriors in the UK, even if you ain't great. If you're a warrior, we'll love you like Chisora and especially Gypsy King. Campbell shits it. Damn, that's harsh, brother. Ryan Garcia is the next Mike Tyson. Mahalo says, fair enough analysis. Glory's in financial trouble. I'd support your growth. Thank you so much, brother. I mean, all you got to do is join the channel. Like the man, Sly Tendencies. Dig. Big shout out to Sly Tendencies 87. Welcome to the official Knucklehead designation. Welcome to Knucklehead Nation, brother. I appreciate you. You'll not just get access to our live fights when we can do fights again, when California decides to remove this lockdown. You get discounts to the Fighters Rep gear in the link below. You'll get shout outs on the channel to let people know you are an official part of Knucklehead Nation. You'll get the little emblem by your name with our logo on it like you see there. And you guys will also be part of the monthly meeting. I'm going to keep you guys apprised of exactly what's happening with the promotion. We're growing fast despite the fact that we can't have a fight right now. We're still growing fast on social media. I've got a list of fighters that wants to compete for us. That's, the list of names can go around the block at this point. And I'm talking from, guys from Dana White's Contender Series, competed in the UFC, competed at Bellator, competed in Glory, competed in BKFC. So this thing's well on its way. And I would love to have you guys join me, man. I would love to have you guys join me. Garcia killed it tonight, says Chad Underwood. Listen, Chad, he killed it, bro. He killed it. A just joined. Who do you think Ryan is fighting next? Or who should he fight? Danilo, I do think he should take a fight before Tank Davis. I think Tank is extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. I don't know who it would be, but he's got to take on a shorter, compact guy if he plans to go after Tank. He needs to go after a short, compound guy that he can fight, that can kind of mimic Tank Davis. If you're in here, smash the like button. Also subscribe, join Knucklehead Nation. Get your Fighters Rep gear in the link below, or join us with a membership. Again, if you're on Android, you'll see the join button below. It's $5 a month. You could cancel anytime. And if you're on iPhone or iPad or whatever it is with Apple, I think you got to log into a PC because they won't show it. Apples always want to be special and different. But that's the way you would join, and you'd help me build the channel and the promotion. Let's see. So who should he fight? I don't know, man. I don't know. I got to think about that one, Danilo. Give me some names, and we'll come to a consensus right here. Texas is the worst place for a fair fight. But you know what, Sly? Man, California is the most expensive place to put on a fight. I've actually compared my fees to that of every other state in the United States. And I guess I have to pay a price for being in the mecca of combat sports, because holy shit, I literally pay 4 to 5 times more than any other promoter in the United States to put on fights. And that's why I'm the only pro kickboxing promoter in the state. Let's see here. Haney will be next because Davis will keep ducking Ryan potentially. Haney's a very dangerous fight too. Can you sign in with an iPhone? Mahalo, my brother, you cannot. But, if you go on a PC, you'll be able to. King Muggin, welcome to Knucklehead Nation, my brother. He just joined. Just joined the come up. Cheer again to King Muggin and Sly Tendencies. Cheers to you guys for joining the channel, man. Much appreciated. Man, I thank you guys so much for your generosity, man. Look, $5 a month doesn't sound like much, but if there's a bunch of you that join, man, we could really make a difference, build this promotion up, and do something incredible for these young fighters, man. Like I said, I've got access to the best fighters in the world, from, Black House MMA, where Anderson Silva trains, Lyoto Machida's school, Chad George's school. I mean, the list goes on and on, Saxon, Muay Thai. We got everybody down here, so I really appreciate you guys joining, man, and helping me create opportunities for these young fighters. That's what it's all about. How come nobody talked about Lomachenko after the fight? Lopez could have easily been a draw. I agree with that. One of the scorecard was disgusting. I agree. Loma can beat all the champions and contenders at 135. I agree with that. Listen, all these guys can beat each other. I think some guys have a better potential of beating the rest than others. I still think Loma's up there. I thought that was a very close with Teofimo Lopez. Something tells me if Lomachenko would have been more active in the beginning of the fight, he might have gotten that decision. But it is what it is. Teofimo won. Congrats to him. That being said, these guys can all beat each other, man. I think, Garcia, Tank Davis, Teofimo, Lomachenko, Devin Haney, these guys are all very close. And I hope we get to work it out in that division, man. That's a lot of excitement. Haney should be the next test for Garcia, in my opinion, but he has youth on his side. He has plenty of time to fight all the names. Just got to be patient and watch him grow. I agree. I think it might be a better idea to build the Haney fight. You know what I mean? Not working for me on Android, man. That's very strange. Chris Morales, I appreciate you trying. I guess get on a PC or maybe try a different device. But I've got an Android, and I've got the join button here. But, man, the fact that you guys are considering joining, I really appreciate that, man. When I put out the join button, I said to myself, you know what? Instead of just charging people a pay-per-view, because there's a local Muay Thai promotion, and they charged people on the Facebook pay-per-view, which I have access to as well. But I said to myself, you know what? Instead of charging, $8 or $10 or whatever it is these other promotions are charging on the Facebook pay-per-view, 15, whatever, I'll just charge $5 YouTube. I'll make people feel like they're helping me build this promotion, which they are. I'll make them feel like they have skin in the game. For the real fight fans, I want to give back and help me build a sport that I think is on the cusp of, listen, if you watch any of our fights, these kids just slug it out, punches and kicks. For me, it's the most exciting rule set on the planet. You can't even clinch. So if you're tired, you got to fight your way out. It's crazy. And if you guys watch our fights, it gets real crazy. Plus, the talent is ridiculous. So I said to myself, why not? All these people do this crowdfunding for other bullshit. They do it for video games and, for whatever else it is that they're covering. Why not do this for the fight game? What athletes are more neglected and abused than fighters? I think anybody would want to get behind this. You know what I mean? So I will say it's been hard work. It's been hard work. And if I didn't love this to death, I'd have quit this a long time ago. I've been on the verge of having a panic attack during weigh-ins before. That's how much stress this shit is. But you know what? I love the hell out of this, man. And nothing but good comes from it. The fighters get experience. The fighters get to compete. The fans get entertainment. The vendors, all the local vendors and the liquor guy and the food guy and the people selling equipment, all of them get to make money and bring business to their families and money to their families. The commissioners and the officials and the judges and the referees get paid. The coaches get to show people, look, we've got fighters, we've got a fight team, and get to grow their gym. The fighters then build a resume. They can become fighters or promoters or coaches or open up their own gym. There's nothing but positivity that comes from this. And so, for me, it's just, I would do the $5. Obviously, I do way more than that as the owner of this promotion. I come out of pocket for everything. And I'm one of the few doing it right. I don't go to the Indian reservation to circumvent any laws. I pay, man. I pay. And sometimes I get hurt paying, and sometimes I do, I do fantastic things and I do well. I will admit we've had a lot of success recently, but it's not always easy. It's not always easy. I got to deal with a lot, but I've got great help. I've got a team of very competent young men and women. And I think you're going to see this surpass many promotions. I only had a year to build the striking aspect. We were an MMA promotion for a year. And then I said to myself, you know what? My first love is kickboxing. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about it. If they don't think it's popular, whatever, I'm going to do it. So I started doing kickboxing for a year. And in that year, I was able to go from a pretty big show to a sold out, absolutely insane bonker show where the people were cheering so loud you couldn't hear yourself think ringside. So I said to myself, you know what? Mission accomplished. Now it's time to just keep growing this thing. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is I got a lot of passion. I got a lot of love for this and for the fighters and for the fight game and for the, everything involved. I don't see anything but good coming from it. And I think real fight fans will appreciate it. Let me see. Rob S. says Gervonta KOs Garcia, potentially. Danilu Livestream says, you think a fight with Linares would be good? I think that is a good fight. I think that's actually a very smart fight, Danilo. I appreciate you bringing that up. I think that's actually a very smart fight. Linares is looking for a fight. And that would still be a very big challenge for Garcia. Mihailo says, thanks for another live session. Keep up on the great work. Smash the like button, folks. Appreciate you, Mihailo, man. I appreciate your generosity. Thank you so much, brother. I look forward to seeing you again if you're leaving. Chris Morales, welcome. Welcome, brother. You are now an official knucklehead. Big cheers to Chris. Shout out to Cheers. Shout out to that laptop, man. Thank you so much for joining, brother. You won't regret it, man. You won't regret it. Thank you so much, Chris. Cheddar323 says, we in here, yo. What's going on, Cheddar? Appreciate you being in here, man. Sly Tendencies says, I understand Cali judging. I just think about the robberies like Escandon, Pali Malanaji, and countless other. Bro, that Pali Malanaji robbery was ridiculous, bro. That shit was just absolutely ridiculous. I agree with you on that one. Where did I forget now, was it Vegas where the Floyd Canelo fight happened? I mean, as much as I love Canelo, I mean, come on, the judge that saw it a draw with Floyd and Canelo, that was fucking hilarious. That was hilarious, bro. I think that was in Vegas. Shakur Stevenson still out there too. That's right. Shakur is still a baby though. He still needs to grow a little bit. But look, I've had Manny Robles as a guest on this channel several times. Manny, as you guys know, Andy Ruiz's coach when Andy won the heavyweight title. He's also coach for Oscar Negrete and so many other great fighters. Terrell Gachet, can't think of some of the other ones. Oh, Prince Charles Martin, so on and so forth. He's got a Ukrainian kid. I think he's Ukrainian. His name is Sergey Bohachuk right now. That's a beast. But anyway, Manny has seen this kid in action, Shakur Stevenson, and he tells me that kid's the next Mayweather. So that's an inside scoop from your boy here at Fighters Rep. Shakur Stevenson may be the next Mayweather. And I look forward to seeing what happens. These lower divisions carrying boxing, nobody fighting each other at 147. Everyone else waiting for the Canelo lottery. That's true. But hey, the heavyweight division is popping too, man. I love the fight game. I used to train in jiu-jitsu, says King Muggin. No way. No way. What do you guys train in anything before I let you guys go? Because I've been on here almost an entire hour. What are you guys trained in, if anything? Write it in the chat below. I want to know what you guys train in, if anything. Right now, me personally, I'm not training in any combat sport. I do a little, shadow boxing here and there, but that's it. I was going a couple times a week before and even during the pandemic, which I shouldn't have been, but I tried anyway. I was going a couple times a week to do Muay Thai, boxing, and kickboxing at CMMA, which is Chad George's gym in Gardena, California. Fantastic gym. Chad George, World Combat Jiu-Jitsu world champion, the first one ever. Black belt, I believe, under the Gracies in Jiu-Jitsu. Former Bellator fighter, now retired. Former WEC fighter. So I got a lot of good work in there, and that's what I was doing. I did a little jiu-jitsu for a while, but I just couldn't because I got a full-time job too, you guys. Besides Fighters Rep, which is a full-time fucking job, I got a full-time fucking job, all right? Because, I got to put food on the table for this family. And with all my jobs and shit, I'm like a Jamaican from In Living Color, right? With all my jobs, I just don't have time to do jiu-jitsu anymore. I said if I'm going to do something, it's going to be striking. That's my first love. So I just, I would do striking 2-3 times a week. You know what I mean? And now what I do because of the pandemic, I go to the playground. I may not look like it, but I just started, I do the elliptical for like half an hour. I'm trying to do the elliptical for half an hour a day. I've only been doing it for a couple of days. I also do a lot of walking as I listen to audiobooks because I'm a psycho like that and I can't stop researching and learning because that's the only way I'm going to make this company succeed. But 3 days a week, I go to the park and I do calisthenics. I do, pull-ups on the bars, push-ups. I do sit-ups. I do body squats. I got kids. I play with the kids. So, I try to be active. And, I do recommend you guys stay active as well. It's very important in this time right now. You guys got to take care of yourselves. Because this fucking disease, man, it hunts you down if you're immunocompromised or if you're not healthy. So you definitely have to be careful. I'm always outside getting sun. I look pretty pale right now. But, I actually have, maybe I have a little bit more color if you see me in person. But, I do get a lot of sun just from walking outside in California. It never rains here. And that's what I do, man. I try to eat good. Although, I'm a bit of a glutton sometimes. I like to drink. But I try to eat good. That's pretty much it. Let's see here. Muay Thai Six Side. Cheddar, my brother. Appreciate you, man. I've been to Six Side Muay Thai. I love that place, man. And that's another fantastic gym that's been featured on our shows. Kickboxing. Used to do Aikido, but had spinal surgery and can't take being slammed into the floor anymore. Wow. Wow, that's dope. That's dope, Chris. Mr. Flash, U17 for Oye, says train in punching walls, knuckle push-ups, and trying to break a man's nose. Self-trained in my own shit. LOL, gotta start somewhere. That's hilarious. I trained under Rylan Gracie. Damn, that's dope, man. That's dope. Who do you think has the most potential at 135 out of these youngins? Davis, Garcia, Stevenson, Haney, and Teofimo. I'm going to have to get back to you in a second on that. Cheddar says, I love the fact that you're so dedicated to the fight game and do it for the love. We need people like you who want to help uplift the game and see others do well. Thanks for being behind the scenes. Cheddar, man, my pleasure, brother. If you guys haven't, I've actually been to Cheddar's gym and did an interview with his coach, one of the owners of Six Side Muay Thai, Oscar Mueller, who's fought for us before, competed for a title, put on a hell of a fight. That was a split decision that he lost, but I mean, he was right there. If it would have gone his way, I wouldn't have been surprised. And Oscar has now decided, I believe, to go to make his pro debut with us. And that's something that I am just absolutely excited for, because his opponent and him are both going to be making their pro debut. They've got bad blood. And I think I'm going to create something crazy with that fight, because that fight, besides the bad blood, and we're going to do a press conference to kind of flesh that out. But besides the bad blood, Oscar's of Salvadoran descent, and the opponent, Abel Lara, is of Mexican descent. And it's going to be Mexico versus El Salvador. And that shit is going to be crazy out here in Southern California. I mean, we're going to build some crazy rivalries. So I look forward to that one. Danilo. That's a tough question. I think Shakur Stevenson has a lot of talent. I think Haney has a lot of talent. I think Garcia has a lot of talent. I think Teofimo has a lot of talent. I would actually say that the guy with the least talent on that list is probably Tank Davis, I would have to say. I mean, even though he's got explosive power, I think the other guys are better boxers than him. I think at this juncture, Teofimo is probably the best one. But as far as ceiling, I don't know, man. Maybe it's Stevenson. Maybe it's Stevenson. I don't know. It could be Teofimo. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see, man. We're going to have to wait and see. From what I've seen, man, I got to go with Teofimo right now, man. I think he's the best. But, who's got the highest ceiling? Could be Teofimo. It could be Stevenson. Tough choice, though, because Haney's a beast. But anyway, knuckleheads, man, I appreciate you guys joining the chat. We've been on here an hour already. Thank you so much. What an incredible performance from Ryan Garcia. We created 3 new members. Thank you so much for that, guys. Thank you all for your donations, too, and the generosity to the channel. Be sure to get your Fighters Rep gear, man. We got the hoodies out now. Great for the winter. But, yeah, man, good take. I do see a lot of mental IQ with Stevenson. Yeah, man, but thanks for joining us, guys. If you're watching this on the replay, leave a comment below. Hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you thought about Ryan Garcia's performance, man. Also, join us if you haven't already, or hit the subscribe button. Joining is optional, but you will get more. You will get access to our fights. If you ever want to watch our live streamed fights, you will have to hit that join button. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till they're released on the YouTube channel, which may be several weeks. You'll also, by joining, get a discount to the Fighters Rep gear below. So I think that kind of pays for itself. And you'll get a mention, a shout out for being an official Knucklehead. You'll get a little emblem by your name like you're seeing with a lot of people now in the live chat. And finally, you'll get to join me in a monthly meeting on the first of each month where we'll discuss the progress of the promotion. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm out too. Chris Morales says, I'm out, man. 1:30 here. Glad to finally be on board with Fighters Rep, man. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you very much, man. Thank you. Have a great night, you guys.